Guys, what is up? Bigger Reviews here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Twisters. Now, Twisters is the not sequel, but it still has the same name and concept of the 1996 film starring Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. I love Twister. I never really talked about it on this channel, but I mean, I grew up watching Twister. My mom loved Twister. I always saw it on the TV. I think I had it on VHS. That movie terrified me. I remember watching that for the first time when I was like 7 or something, and I remember like in the beginning of the original Twister movie, it's like a flashback and her dad gets sucked out of the basement into a tornado, and I just remember that scarring me for life. Even though I'm in Florida, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what, you know, and I was losing my mind. But then just the idea, like they have the Dorothy and the visual effects in that movie, I mean, still hold up pretty well to this day. And I mean, there's whole videos on YouTube you can watch about it, but it was just a summer blockbuster that wasn't trying to say anything or do anything. It was really just humans in the elements, and I love that because, you know, obviously every movie should have a message and stuff and try to do certain things, but that Twister and those types of movies are just the type where you just go in the summer just to watch shit get destroyed and insane scenarios. I mean, they drove through a house in that movie. You see cows flying. I mean, there's iconic parts. So when I heard Twisters was coming out, I was a little worried because, you know, obviously Hollywood loves remaking shit and redoing stuff. But then I was pretty shocked to hear that this wasn't a remake. I mean, I guess it's kind of a remake. They call it a standalone sequel, which means, like, apparently it's in the same world as Twister, but it's not, like, doesn't have anything to do with it. The only thing that really connects to the original film is in the beginning of the movie where you see Dorothy 5, and that's it. You never see Dorothy again. But that was really interesting to me because I remember in the original movie, I think, they only went to 4. So maybe that was a way to tie in or something. I don't know. There was people saying apparently that Bill Paxton would have had a scene in this movie if he didn't sadly pass away. His son is in it, though, which I think is super cool for them to do. And I wish Helen Hunt was in it. This movie took me by surprise. Honestly, I really did like it. And like I said, we're in a time where we're getting great movies now, but, like, you know, I feel like ever since COVID started, like, a lot of movies have been half-assed and all this, and it just you rarely get that movie that you're like, damn, this is a nice summer blockbuster. I mean, Top Gun Maverick did that, where I was like, shit, you know, this is a great blockbuster for the summer, and it was really entertaining. I love Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell is probably one of my favorite actors, and like he's growing so quick on my list, but he is amazing. Like it's gonna sound cringe, but he has hella aura, first off. Second off, his chemistry with anyone, especially the leading, like, female of a movie, is insane. It's off the charts. I mean, it is insane. And he just has that presence. I mean, once he shows up in the movie, the dynamic shifts instantly. It's a comedy, and then, you know, we'll get into his character a little bit in the spoilers. But I did love Daisy Edgar Jones as well. She's phenomenal. I mean, you can really tell her passion for this movie and then her character's passion through her acting. It was phenomenal. I loved her arc in this movie too, getting over the events of the beginning of the film. The CGI was amazing, and they weren't scared to just do some batshit crazy shit. I mean, if you remember the original Twister, you know, people were dying. You know what I mean? But in this movie, like, people were dying. Like, and I'm glad because, like, and I remember Chris Stuckman, I watched his review for this movie, and he puts it perfectly. It's like this movie is like a monster movie, low key. I mean, like, that's what was crazy about the original movie is they added like this like growl, like a lion growl or something, like super low key on the Twisters to just make them look just like monsterish. And this movie does that as well. They do have a couple callback scenes. Like in the original movie, one of the most iconic parts was when they're watching The Shining and the tornado comes at night and you get glimpses of it through the lightning. They do that in this movie, but in a different way. And it was just really cool because besides them, like besides Glenn Powell's character being like a YouTuber, this could have happened at any point in time, if that makes sense. Obviously, there's like some tablets and stuff, but I'm glad they didn't try to do some like batshit crazy technology thing. Because remember, like back in the original Twister, it was just the truck and the Dorothy. You know, this is these cars and some other things, but it was really entertaining. I really did love it. We're gonna get some spoilers now, so you haven't seen the movie. You know, maybe click away, but I really do like the way they subvert expectations in this movie. The main two do not kiss, and there is actually video of them on set doing a kiss at the end. But apparently Steven Spielberg sent notes. If you guys don't know, Steven Spielberg like always sends notes into movies, like because people either ask him or he's a producer, and he sent a note that said you shouldn't kiss because that's like a, you know, like a cliche thing. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I get they're probably gonna do another movie for Twister. I mean, especially since this movie's doing phenomenal. And maybe they'll kiss then. But the whole, it's like, come on, we're already doing the cheesy, like, I mean, he went after her in an airport. Like, that's cliche as hell. Come on, just end with a kiss already. I'm a sucker for like rom-coms and stuff. This was like a subtle rom-com. One of the best things about this movie too is I really like how Glenn Powell's character is just not a dick, if that makes sense. Kate comes with Javi's people seem like the good guys, and then Tyler Owens just seems like a dick, right? He seems like not like a dick, but he's just full of himself and all this stuff, which he is. But I love how, as this film goes on, like, and even she starts calling him out, like, you're selling shirts to these people, blah, blah, and then you find out that he's actually helping them. Like, he sells the shirts so they can get food to give to all these people. And you find out that Javi, who is Kate's best friend, Javi was the only one who survived from the beginning of the movie with her. You find out that he's with these people who basically, they try to make it look like, oh, you guys okay, but really they're there to just sell the land. Like, they literally go to where like these where these twisters just hit and try to change the land, like buy the land from these people, and it's just a really dick move. And his arc's really good too, because at one point I was like, oh, so he's just gonna become evil, but no, he ends up helping people at the end and realizing that, and you could tell he's really crushing on Kate in this movie. Anyone who's been in that situation, I've been in that situation where you like a girl, but then this other guy comes in and he's just like the best. Like Tyler Owens, he's good looking, he has charisma, and then she just goes to him. But they don't really dwell on that, which I'm glad they do, because it was like, it could have been an easily triangle. In the middle of the movie, it was about to be a triangle, I feel like. But then at the end, like, when he goes and chases her, like, Javi's like, go get him, So Javi's, like, supportive of it. But I really did like it. The beginning was very similar to the original Twister, where her and her boyfriend at the time and two other friends go out and try to do a Twister with the Dorothy 5. And I remember correctly, she says something like, we found this somewhere, which is, like, this, like I said, that's, like, the only thing connecting to the original Twister. So I don't know if that means like maybe Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt's character, made Dorothy 5 and then retired or something, and that's where they found it. I don't know, but that was a really good way to call back. Because I remember I didn't watch a lot of the trailers for this movie. I saw one, so I was like, oh, they doing the Dorothy thing again. So when I found out they weren't, that was pretty cool. Yeah, and then like I said, this movie off rip kills 4 people. They kill her best friends, and they're in high school, so they're young people too. And there's people. They show the hubris of people good, where they're like, we have to get down. Everyone's like, no, I know what I'm doing. They get sucked into the tornado and die. I really liked it. I really don't have too many complaints, honestly. It was multiple action scenes, and the slow parts were good. The comedy did hit. I was in a theater. I saw it a couple days late, but I was in a theater that was pretty full, and most people were laughing at every joke, and the jokes did hit. And that's obviously carried by Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones. Their dynamic in this movie is amazing, and the way they're just good at like riffing off of each other is really well. And I love, like I alluded to this earlier, Tyler Owens is not a dick, and I love that. Like, you find out that he really is smart. Like, he's one of the only people on his team that did go to like school for meteorology. And when Kate's going through her part of her character arc where she's like, why do I do this, blah blah, he's there and he's helping her, and they do it together. And I really did like that. And a couple movies have been doing that now recently, where, oh, this guy's gonna be a dick, and then he's not. And I really do like that subversion, because it's just a trope that we've seen forever. That's one of the tropes where I'm like, Now, them kissing at the end, that's a trope I would have liked. But guys, if you have time, go see this movie. I know Deadpool's coming out this weekend. Screw it, see both. Obviously Deadpool's number one. I cannot see Deadpool until Monday, so my review will be late, but I will be watching it. I'm out of town starting actually in a couple hours. I'm leaving, but I will be back Sunday, and I'm going with my friend to watch it Monday, so we'll see that. But yeah, honestly, if you've never even heard of this series, I would go watch the original Twister and then this one. I went with a friend who did see Twister and a friend who did not see Twister, or he did, but then he forgot about it. So it's really interesting. You'll like this movie either way. You don't need to watch the first one, but both these movies are just so damn good. That original one I still think is my fave, just because it's directed by the guy who did like Speed, and I'm pretty sure another movie, like, he's really good at action. And then Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt, that movie's iconic. But this movie is really good, and it's good to get a movie that's just like natural disaster. Now, I love superheroes, but it's not superhero, it's not blah blah. It really feels like a monster movie, but the monster is the weather. And it was just a really good change of pace, and I hope they do more of these in the future. Even like a hurricane or something like that. I don't know. But what did you guys think of Twisters? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Have you seen it? Have you not seen it? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Like I said, I am watching Deadpool a little late, so I'm gonna avoid spoilers. I will have my review out next week for that. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all.